Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Alice, the first one to join. Alice, wonderful to have you on. Guys, if you're joining us, I've started the live a little bit early just so that people are here for when it kicks in at 7. So I can see Alice is here. Anybody else here?
By the way, Alice is a devoted follower from Canada. She's been here all the time.
Yes, Alice, you're here every week. We're kind of like part of each other's lives. No, Alice, glad to have you. Please let us know if you're tuning in. We're going to do some social selling training tonight, and we're going to give you some tips. Hi, Shankar. Hi, Radhika. Welcome. Everybody's seeing us okay. Lionheart, another Canada, welcome. So this session, we're going to go for just under an hour. We'll hang on for Q&A. So if anybody wants to go for Q&A, please do hang on to the end and I'll go through it. We've packed this full of training tonight. So there is a little sales pitch, but that's further down at the end. And obviously you can ignore it, but we'll do Q&A anyway. Great to have you all here. We've got the sun. I don't know whether you can see it reflecting in the TV here, but we've got the sun bearing down and blue skies right in front of us. I mean, literally behind the camera, I can see blue skies, sun, trees. It looks great out there, and we're in here tonight.
And all of this after a miserable weekend.
I know, miserable weekend, but really nice weather now. Sod's law, as they say. So we're going to start, and we're going to talk about social selling, and we're going to share with you some key principles you can go and employ into your business tomorrow, and it will make a huge difference to you. Hi, Sally. Welcome, Kent Coast. Sally, have you got the sun like we've got here? It's really good here today, but we're trapped inside talking to you.
By the way, we're doing this from Plymouth.
Yep, we're from Plymouth, live from Plymouth, Devon to the world, from India, Canada, everywhere. Yeah, really good weather today, and we're all inside. So just whilst we're waiting for everybody to join, because I kind of jumped on a little early, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to walk you through the essentials of social selling. I'm also going to, if you want to, just while we're waiting here, I'm going to share with you a link in the chat there where you can download a copy of the little book, which will also have some of this in. It's in a little bit more detail as well. So if you want to get the book, it's absolutely free. It's a PDF. You can download it. And just while we're, burning some time, really, just to get everybody on board. Some people say, why do you go on every week on the internet and give away free training?
In this case, and even a free book.
And free books. Why do we do it? Now, some people would go, you're mad. We believe that if we give value to people, it will help us spread the value we can offer. And some people will go, you know what, these guys, they're really good people. They give value. I'm going to talk to them about how they can help me grow my business. So that's why we do it. Hi, Claire. So we give away more than we sell.
But the thing is, and I think you're going to talk a little bit down the road, is it's a way also of everyone tasting what we do.
Yeah. So one of the strategies we do with some clients is we call it see, taste, and buy. And it's a fundamental belief that if you're giving advice or expertise as a service in whatever way, a coach, consultant, whatever it is, if you're giving your expertise, it's great for people to be able to sample or have a flavor of what that feels like and the knowledge that's behind it. So that's part of the why we do these, the way we do it. So we're going to kickstart in one more minute. Hi, Claire from Truro. We're in Plymouth tonight. So you probably got similar weather to us. Cracking the flags, as I would say, where I used to come from. Cracking the flags. From Mexico, Carla from Mexico. Mrs. J, evening.
Hola, buenas noches, Carla.
So we're going to, I think we'll start tonight. So I'm just going to share with you some presentations. Hi, Phil from Birmingham. Hopefully it's warm in Birmingham too. Social selling is critical particularly now going through the pandemic, and we're going to be dealing with this coronavirus thing. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, by the way. Not allowed to say that word on YouTube, otherwise they don't let the video become visible. So because of the current situation, it does cause issues with trying to sell as a business, because networking, in-person networking is difficult, all of those different things. So social selling, i.e. using digital channels, social media, to promote and sell your services is critical. Now, I'm going to try and differentiate social selling from social media marketing, because they're two very different things. Hi, Jessica. So social selling and social media marketing are two totally different things. Social selling is the person or a person using their profiles, using their identity, not their company's identity, and demonstrating their value, their impact, their trustworthiness, and their ability to deliver for a client in a way that gets them inquiries, sales, leads. Whereas social media marketing is about promoting a company identity and doing that on social media with a page or a company page or something like that, and building it out that way. So they're very different things. So what we're going to talk about tonight, you can use on all the social channels, but you do it as you. People would buy into you as a person, and then they buy into what you offer. Social media marketing is about promoting a page or something like that. Very, very different. Hi, Dimitri from South Africa.
Hi, Dimitri, my buddy from South Africa.
So social selling is about you selling yourself and your service, and people trusting you, buying into you, and buying what you offer. Whereas social media marketing is promoting a brand or something like that. So
because
it's very
people
different. People buy from people. So you can do this on Facebook. You can do this on LinkedIn. In fact, it works really well on LinkedIn. You can do this on Instagram. You can even do this on Twitter. But to be honest with you, if you're B2B, the place where you can make the most impact with this what we're going to teach tonight is LinkedIn and Facebook. It will work everywhere, but LinkedIn and Facebook is where it really, really will fly. Hi, Isabel from Manchester. So social selling is you selling yourself and your service. Social media marketing is selling the brand and the company. So that's the difference I make. Okay, so let's crack on.
I'm going to sit down. Would you like to talk once again about this?
Just whilst everybody's joined here, I'll just share the link as well. If you want a copy of the book, it's absolutely free. You can go download it. So go download the book. It's got all the notes, but also this kind of broken down into more detail. You can have that totally free. So anyway, this is what I'm going to talk to you about today. So I'm just going to give you the background. I've kind of gone through some of that already. Key things. Hi, Katie from Portsmouth. Welcome. Consistency, the one strategy you need to follow. So that's the kind of big picture thing that you need to focus on. The problem to solve. I'm going to talk about some simple strategies you can implement tomorrow, but they're in detail in the book, so go download the book. Again, free. How you can accelerate it, and then we'll go through some Q&A. So hi, Terry. Welcome. So here we go. So just a bit of background to me. I am not a salesperson. I'm not a natural salesperson. I've got used to talking to a camera a bit more than I did 5 or 10 years ago. So I feel a bit more comfortable chatting to a screen. But I was forced to, at one point, sell by making cold calls. Now, that doesn't really work so much right now because people are working from home and all of that kind of stuff. But it was a necessary evil. I needed to get in touch with people to get business. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. It felt pushy. It didn't feel right. But I was under pressure to hit numbers. So I really didn't have a choice. And I stumbled across this social selling before it was a thing, before people talked about it as a way to build. And very much so, it's similar. Hi, Ruby from Shropshire. It's very similar to how sales used to happen in person maybe 30 years ago, but it's now online. And I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you, because one of the things I've realized, and I know so many people struggle with, is overthinking this stuff, tying yourself in knots and not knowing where to go. So I'm going to show you how you get clarity in this tonight. We've only got limited time, so I'm going to show you as quickly as I can how to get this really sharp and clear and get a result. Because if you don't get focused on this, you will be all over the show. Nobody will get or understand what you can offer. Nobody will see the value, and you'll waste a lot of time. So I'm going to show you a really way you can punch through all the noise, get a result, and then, of course, you'll go, wow, this was brilliant. Dean, show me how to do it faster, and that's where I can help you. So I'm going to give you the kickstart tonight to go and do this tomorrow. So where am I doing this now? So I practice everything I preach. Everything I preach. Now I have somebody who works on my team who actually manages my social media with me, because I can't keep up with what's going on it. I mean, literally, it's overrun at the moment. But that's because I've put the work in. So I'm still doing what I'm telling you tonight. Hi, Stewie. Hi, Rolene. Hi, Radhika. Oh, I've said hello to Radhika already. I still hate cold calling. Absolutely hate it still. Thought of it terrifies me. I don't want to do it. I feel dirty doing it. And I feel like I'm compromised in doing it, because obviously people are buying into me for what I can help them achieve. So why do I want a cold call to do that? So I still don't do it. You'll still never find me doing it. But I will use social media and digital channels to create interest in what I do and convert people into customers. And that's what I'm going to teach you tonight. So about 100,000 people have been on our training, free trainings, paid trainings, all that stuff. And we hit our numbers. So I'm talking from a place where I've done this myself. Glad to have you, Stewie. So I'm sharing my methods. These are not scientific methods. These are things that I know work, and I can implement them day in, day out myself, and it works. And I can get somebody else, and I've literally sat somebody else and said, just do that. If you do that, it will work. So I'm going to kind of put the pressure on you tonight to say, just do this. If you just do this, it will work. So, quick benefits of social selling. There is no hard sell. It does build a compounding effect. So, in the first few weeks of getting into this, it feels hard work, or it feels like you're doing a lot for nothing or for very little. But the effects build and build, and the impact builds. But if you stop, or you're hit and miss, or you're not consistent, it will not work. So the great thing about it is when you get inquiries, you usually get the higher margin or the better paying clients if you do it this way. If you start pitching people and going out on an all-out assault like people do on LinkedIn to get clients, you end up scraping the barrel of people who don't want to pay very much, want the low end of the market, and you feel like you might want to take it on just because you want the money, or you want the income, or you want the sale. This will work and help you get out of that kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel kind of business. You'll get less ghosting. Now, hopefully you don't know what ghosting is, but ghosting is where you get some interest from somebody and they just disappear, like they vanish off the face of the earth. They don't respond to emails. It's a very common thing in any kind of expert or service-driven business that you get ghosting. But if you do your social selling strategy well, the ghosting is minimized and you convert a lot more. So whilst I don't do a huge amount of outreach in terms of trying to get business, the inquiries we get, pretty much, I would say 80% of them convert into clients, because we've done a lot of the work at the front end. Hi, Peter. Welcome. So you get less ghosting. But you also get people who are interested and ready to buy. So you're not wasting as much time chasing down or following up with people who have just gone cold or weren't really that interested to begin with. So you just get the good stuff and less of the kind of time wasting stuff. So a couple of quick essentials. You need an ideal client profile. Now, if you've been to any of our sessions, we actually have a free form. You can email us and we'll give you a copy of it. It's quite a complicated document. And I will say this up front because most people just want to do. And let me share a story with you about this because I've had this a million times and had to deal with it. Particularly with salespeople, because we run some corporate programs for salespeople. Sometimes it can feel better for you, and you might experience this. It can feel better to hit the phones 100 times and get 100 no's, and it can feel like you've achieved something because it feels like you're doing something. You know, the people on LinkedIn who send out all those messages pitching people all the time. Carla, it is exactly, probably very, very similar. But we've got a template you can download or you can email us and we'll send you a copy for free. So the ideal client profile, it's a bit of work. But when you do this work, when you start the front end and go, I'm going to do some of this work on the front end, it actually makes everything else easier. So rather than, to use the analogy of picking up the phone and dialing 100 people and hoping one of them says yes, you might, to put it into that analogy, you might dial 20 people and 10 say yes. So that's the idea. The ideal client profile helps you focus in what you should be posting, what you should be doing, who you should be talking to, and what you should be saying. And the second point I've said here is consistency. You cannot, if you want leads and clients coming to you on a regular basis, you've got to stick at it and do it regularly. So it's no good showing up one day, disappearing for a week, and then coming back again. And then going, it doesn't work for me. Of course it won't work for you. If you want your social media to become a very active channel that's generating you inbound leads, inquiries, sales, and getting you out there to the world to be known that you can solve challenges for particular customers, you have to put the work in daily. Now, I'll give you an example. During lockdown, I worked with 14 people. On a kind of one-to-one and group training sessions. And I said, right, you're going to do it my way during lockdown. And of course, lockdown is pretty tough. People were in limbo. People weren't spending money, all of that kind of stuff. So it was about 13 weeks from start to finish working with them. I think there was a kind of lockdown had eased a bit, but it was still kind of post-lockdown. So we worked with them for 13 weeks. And they had to do exactly what I said. Now, some of them didn't. And about 60%, somewhere between 60 and 70% of them did exactly what I said. The others went, oh, I don't have time, or I don't really get this, or I don't want to do this. They're all because they're busy, you know, all that kind of being polite. And guess what? At the end of the 13 weeks, the business revenue, revenue that they'd got that was coming down the line to them was 2.6 million. 2.6 million pounds, that small group. So you go, oh, well, that's great because that's a bit more speculative. No. That was business that they believe they've got. Yeah, so it wasn't in the bank, it wasn't invoices, but it was what they were telling me they got. So then we went a bit more detail and asked them how much money have they actually invoiced, and then we got just over £300,000 of invoices that they generated, and that's because they'd done the work. They'd showed up day in, day out, literally for an hour a day. They'd done the work, and they were on track for £2.6 million worth of business. In other words, things that are coming down the line that they expected to actually close. Not like, oh, it's in the pipeline. This is stuff that they said they're going to close. And it's done. It's just a case of timing or whatever. And just over £300,000 invoiced in that 13 weeks. Why? They understood their clients. They understood their offer. They made consistent action. They had a clear message and a compelling offer. And they were ready to play the smart game. And that's the smart game, is really not getting addicted to activity for activity's sake, because that's really easy to do. You just go all over the show and go, I want to be busy. I want to make those 100 calls because it makes me feel better. Or I want to send those 150 messages, all copy and paste on LinkedIn. You do these things, but actually, if you don't do it with any strategy, it will come apart. and it will be an absolute waste of time. So these are some examples. I don't want to kind of go over these because I don't want to bore you with them, but literally, you go on my LinkedIn, you'll find them. You go on our Trustpilot, you'll find them. Mike here at the bottom, he did this review on Trustpilot. 6 new inquiries, 20 clients in 13 weeks from Mavericks Training. Awesome group of people. Our new clients will spend circa 600K with us in the next year. So whilst what I'm saying to you here is you have to play a smart game. You have to play the long game too. So if you try to implement this tomorrow, don't get sulky if it doesn't work immediately tomorrow. Most people, it takes them about 3 to 4 weeks to really find their stride because it's such a change. And sometimes social selling feels like you're not doing enough. You're not doing it right because it really builds up. Hi, Gerda. So consistency matters and it builds on top of each other. It builds on top of each other. So it's really, really important you think about that. So social selling combines marketing with sales to achieve results, but it won't work if you're not consistent. Consistency matters. The next 30 days and the next 13 weeks are the most critical. If you're serious about social selling, whether or not you work with us, if you go do this yourself, the next 13 weeks for you are critical because that's your chance to really make an impact. And if you haven't done it in the 13 weeks, you will probably bounce around for another 13 weeks trying to figure out where you went wrong. The next 3 months and the next 30 days are critical to establishing a routine, getting your consistency and really finding your message to be able to impact people who are ready, who are going to be your customers. So this isn't a trick question. Yeah. Think about how much 10 new clients are worth to you. Think about that. How much are 10 new clients worth to you? Because what I'm trying to do here, I'm not trying to set you up for a pitch. What I'm trying to do is get you to think, if I get 10 clients in the next 13 weeks, what's that value to me? And if you can think that's worth your time, then think about, well, okay, if I can do that, how can I then increase my results? Because the first time you try something, your success is going to be a bit hit and miss. You'll get a result, but you have to perfect it. You have to get it tweaked. But everybody I know can, unless you're selling something for like £1 million, everybody generally can get 10 new clients in a 13-week cycle from social selling, assuming that they do the hard graft at the front end of mapping out their clients and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So if you can do that in 13 weeks, in 3 months, then think about the 3 months after that is how you get that from 10 to 20, because it's not the extra effort. You don't need any extra effort. It's refining the little details to make it improve and perform better. And of course, if you get 10, you'll probably be committed to doing it consistently. Yeah, but you can't just try something once and hope it works. You have to really dig into it and make this work for you. And of course, it's a way to get free leads. You're just doing a bit of time and you get your free leads. So let's get into some stuff here. Hopefully I've set the scene of why social selling is important to you, why you should be doing it, and how you can do it on different channels. Again, go in the chat and get the book because the book's got more details. It's free. Go download it because it will help you. You don't need any technology to do this. A lot of people make it so complicated you can't even do it. You don't need any technology, no secret hacks. It's so simple. So, principle number one, right? If you've got a pen and paper, this is where you write this down. Principle number one. And this will stop you wasting so much time. The key for you to get sales is that your ideal clients need to believe that you can solve their problem. That's it. That's all you have to do. Get your ideal clients to believe that you can solve their problem. That's it. If you do that, job done. So remember, when you start to think about what you've been doing on social media, whether it be Facebook, whether it be LinkedIn, wherever it is, are you helping people believe you can solve their problem? Now, people go, oh, that's a bit harder. Well, if you connect with people on LinkedIn and send them a 7-paragraph sales pitch, does that help them believe you can solve their problem? No. If you go into Facebook groups and just post your offers all the time, is that going to help people believe you solve the problem? No. These things aren't going to help you. You may, once you've understood how you get people to believe you, how you get people to believe that you can help them to do that, it might help, but not initially. So how do people believe? Well, they learn to believe you. They decide to believe you. They get intuition. Sometimes people believe things that aren't true. Yeah, so belief isn't necessarily just about presenting facts. You can say how wonderful you are and all that kind of stuff, but people don't have to believe the facts. And, you know, there's enough going on in the world to know that people don't always believe facts these days. So you need to build rapport, yeah? You need to build that. You seem like a nice person and you're not trying to sell me stuff. That's a great thing to build trust. Here's something really important. How do you get people, part of the belief is to get people to understand that you understand their challenges and what they're trying to achieve. How do you build demand? Yeah. How do you make it seem that you, or make people aware that you don't need those customers? You don't seem desperate. How do you build credibility? How do you get people to see that you can make a difference to them and that you're not hot air like a lot of people are who promise the earth and can't deliver it? How do you build likability? You seem like a nice person. I think I can get on with you. I think we could work together, that kind of thing. And ultimately, how do you build expert status that people know that you know what you're doing? Just as an aside, and I might offend some people here, so hopefully I won't, try to, if you're selling something where it's your expertise, just be careful how you describe yourself. The reason being is there's a sweet spot between being confident in what you can deliver and looking like a BSer. Yeah. So expert is something, this is just my pet hate. So feel free to disagree with me. I struggle when I see people's LinkedIn profiles or their Facebook profiles or where it says they declare themselves an expert. I think that things like the word expert and guru are things that people might say about you, not something you say about yourself. So I struggle with those words because I think expert is something somebody says about you. It's not something you say about yourself. But so you want people to have confidence in you that you have expertise. You don't want to have to tell people you have expertise. It looks a bit... It's a bit like, you know, well, it can come across wrong. So just be very, very careful with how you describe yourself. So the one strategy that you need to follow for social selling. Yeah. And I'm going to explain why. Now, some of you will have a ton of different products and services. You will have this. And that's great that you've got lots of different markets you can serve. Lots of different markets. Wonderful. The problem comes is that how do you punch through what is a very crowded market if you can do lots of different things? So first things first, you need a strategy, a very clear strategy. If you want results, you need to focus in on one key thing. So we call this the one strategy. Now, you can implement the one strategy in lots of different ways, but these are primarily, we suggest people implement the one strategy in seasons. So for an example, let's say you're on LinkedIn or Facebook and you decide you're going to pursue one strategy. You could, for the next 13 weeks or quarter or 6 months or the next year, build out with one particular client that has one particular problem with one very clear message and one clear offer, and push that on LinkedIn and Facebook or wherever for the next year, 6 months, 3 months, so that you can make an impact and you can become known by a target audience for that thing that you do. Now, the reason I'm saying to pursue the one strategy is because you get focus. And when you've got focus, you can really punch through what is a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on. And remember, people don't remember you. Remember, people don't remember. People won't remember you just because of one encounter. It takes 10 to 15 encounters with you before they even remember who you are properly. Before they remember, oh, I know that person, I've seen them before, but and relates it all together. So let's imagine you're not pursuing the one strategy. And today you're offering social selling training for this, and next week you're doing this, and next week you're doing that. Nobody will remember what you're known for. Yeah. So you need to focus in on one strategy and be really clear and push that. So one client. So one type of client, one market, one profile. Again, you can email us if you want to download the client profile form so you can fill it in for yourself. It's free. Just email us and we'll send it to you. With one problem. Now, people might go, problem? Every business, every single business solves a problem for a customer. So one client could be IT companies. It could be small business owners. It could be coaches. It could be consultants. It could be landscape gardeners. It could be hotels. It could be people in the grocery sector. So I was working with somebody this afternoon about their one strategy, and they were looking at the grocery sector. So businesses in the food service sector, their problem is that their route to market is dried up because of the pandemic. So what was the key message that they could help? So they could help people have other routes to market through their business. They can help food service people find other routes to market. Great. So one client, the food service sector, their problem, they're struggling to find their route to market through restaurants, or their diminished volume through restaurants. So what's the message? We can help you. We can help you find new routes to market for your business. Yeah, because one of their routes to market's dried up or is reduced or contracted. And then the offer. We can show you through our process, our service, we can help you get in front of new markets, international markets, different non-restaurant markets. So that's a very basic one. If anybody wants to give me some examples, I will do some examples at the end. So you have one market, one client, one target client that have commonalities. So grocers, butchers, hairdressers, insurance brokers, construction companies, plumbers, whoever it is, you have an audience. And they have a problem. Those groups of people, those clients have a problem, a challenge, a frustration, something that's holding them back, something that they could achieve more if they knew. What's the problem that you can solve for them? What's the challenge that you can help them overcome? Every business helps somebody overcome a problem. Every business. Even the businesses that sell more aspirational things, help people achieve something, get something. They want to have a status. Every business has a problem. In our client form and in our accelerator program, we help you define this so it's really sharp. Then you have to develop your message, the one message for that group of people with that problem. And that comes out in lots of different ways and expresses itself in lots of different ways, but it's really focused on people who have that problem. And then you have the one offer. Now, the one offer doesn't have to be the one and only thing you sell, but it has to be that step that gets them on board with you as a client. So it could be, for an example, you come onto an accelerator program and then you go onto our business growth program. Yeah. So there's a series of stages you take people through, but you have a clear offer to them so that one, they can go, you can help me solve my problem. I resonate with the problem that you're talking about. I've got that problem you're talking about, and I can see how you can help me solve it. And then they make an inquiry saying, I'd like to know more about your offer. I'd like to know more about how you can do that for me. Yeah. So it's very, very clear. So some people will go, oh, I'm not sure I should focus in so tightly because I might exclude other people. I might dismiss these other people, or these people might want to buy from me, but they might think I'm over here, so they don't buy. Here's the problem. Yeah. Here's the problem for you if you go down I want to capture everybody. Your messaging your targeting, everything that you're doing will become so vague because you're trying to not miss anybody out, not exclude anybody. It appeals to nobody. It becomes wishy-washy, average, boring, irrelevant. It's just like everything else, so they ignore it. But if you do this one strategy really, really well, guess what happens? Your content, your blogs, your posts, your comments, your engagement with prospects all suddenly becomes really relevant. Like, I often say to people, if you do this right, if you get this right, your prospects will think you're psychic. They'll think you're reading their mind. Not literally, of course, but they'll think, wow, that's so timely. Your post, your message was so timely because it's so relevant to them. So that's why we say pursue the one strategy, because you become almost like a mind reader of your clients. If you do this work well, and in the accelerator we actually do this with people to help them focus it really, really tightly, it helps you really be relevant to your prospects. And then you can go, well, actually, now I've done one, I might move to another sector and adjust it and go after that sector and build it up. Or you might go, well, I'm going to really build a dominant position in a particular market or in a particular sector with a particular type of client, really nail that. And then I might have another member of my team, another employee, and we'll let them go after this audience. And it's worked brilliantly for us. We've got 25 people here, and we've got 4 or 5 people within our team who are focused on the social selling side, and they're targeting and working their own audiences to draw a crowd and punch through that crowded market. And that's what you need to do. One client, one problem, one message, one offer. Hopefully that makes sense. So focus on the problem you solve, not the solution you sell. It really bugs me when I see on LinkedIn people say, messaging and posting and say, hey, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, do you need a new website? Or do you need this? Or do you need that? And the real high value clients, the real high margin clients are not the ones looking for your service. And some of you may have heard me say this before, and it's a lot of what people are doing is they're catering for shoppers, not buyers. So people go, what's the difference between shoppers and buyers? So a shopper is somebody who goes, I know I have a problem. I know what I need to do to fix it. And I'm now going to look for the solution. So that is a comparison buyer, shall we say. It's somebody who's looking for different options, but knows exactly what they want. That's the lowest value customer you can get, because they're literally going, I know what I want. I know how to fix the problem that I've got, and now I'm going to look for that. So that's people like who go to Google and find web developers in Ipswich or marketing agencies in Birmingham. Those are shoppers. They're people looking for a service, and you might be in the running with other people. So it's a competitive process when you're working with a shopper. Where the real margin is, where the high value clients are the buyers. They're people who are not looking. They're people who have a problem but have not realized what the solution is yet. And the reason I say this is because when a customer or a potential customer has a problem, there's lots of different ways that they can solve it. So for an example, if you're looking and going, actually, I need more leads in my business. Yeah, I need more leads. So that might be your problem. Why are we not getting more inquiries? If I was Dean, the SEO agency, yeah, and I wanted to help you, I could go out to market. I could target you and say, do you want more leads in your business? Business owner says, yes, I want more leads in my business. I really want more leads. The Mr. SEO can turn around and say, I can show you how you can turn your website into a lead magnet. I can show you how you can turn your website into a lead machine. And the business owner goes, great, that's fantastic. And you go, here we go. This is what I can do. Here's the cost. And this is how many leads we think your website will generate if you do X, Y, and Z. Mr. Business Owner goes, that's great, fantastic, let's do it. 84% of people who talk about a service go with the first person they've spoke to. So if you're targeting shoppers, hey, do you need a new website? Hey, do you need help with SEO? Hey, do you need somebody to do Facebook ads? Hey, do you need, I don't know, whatever. If you try and sell the solution or the service you provide, you will appeal to shoppers, people who are looking for that service. If you appeal to the problems that you solve, you find the people who haven't decided on the way to solve it. And most businesses, pretty much all businesses, can solve a problem in different ways. So for an example, if you want more leads, I can show you how to do it on LinkedIn. You can go to somebody who'll show you how to do it with SEO. You can go and find somebody who'll build you a sales funnel. You can find somebody who does Facebook ads. You can find somebody who does Google search. They will all achieve the same end, leads. So in a shopper, they've already chosen which method. They want a website, they want SEO, they want PPC, whichever. A buyer is living with the problem. A buyer is living with the problem. Yes, Desperado, you could find shoppers who are looking for an answer that's the wrong answer. So they don't know the real problem. And this is where it's really important. Remember I was saying, before you just dive in, do the homework first. Get into some of the Quora groups, Facebook, ask questions, all of those things to help you really get inside the head of your client. Because sometimes what they're asking, the problem is, you've got to address the problem and show them how the solution can happen. And that's where the buyers are. That's where the high margin is. Where the low margin is, or the more competitive process is trying to compete with another website company. Trying to compete with a website company. Sally, yes, you're absolutely right. There are different people at different stages of discovering their problem. Now, this is where you have to play the consistent game. Because if you know your clients, you know your target clients, you know the key audiences, what you then need to do is build relationships with them, because different people will be at different stages of that process. And so your job, in some senses, is to educate the people who are not there yet and build relationships with the people who are nearly there. And that's the social selling world. Yeah. Once you're focused on the problem that you can solve, you're no longer selling a commodity. You're selling an opportunity for somebody to reach their goal. And it's really powerful, but it can put you, it can knock you off balance a little bit when you start to go, what, you mean I'm not selling website design? You mean I'm not selling? No, you're not. You're selling an outcome. You're selling an outcome for a customer. And that's what really matters. Shankar, can I answer your question at the end? Because it's a bit more involved and I probably need a bit more information. So Shankar, if you can write out a bit more example, I'll do your question at the end if that's all right. Okay, let me just push on because I don't want to take too much time. So there are 4 vital cogs to social selling, 4 vital cogs. And I'll show you how these can work in Facebook and in LinkedIn briefly as well. So we have content, engagement, connection, and conversion. Now, these 4 cogs are absolutely critical to whatever channel you use. So you've got content, yeah? You have to be publishing content regularly. Now, people say to me, oh, I don't know what to post. How can I post? If you've done your ideal client profile, if you've done it, I've got one here somewhere to show you. If you've done the work on your ideal client profile, this document here, and again, you can get a copy of this, but if you've done the work in detail, and I was with a client earlier today, and we were literally thumb screwing him on how to fill this in, not because we want to be difficult, but because we want him to get the best result. So we were thumb screwing about why is this, why this, why this, why this. But when you've done that, it makes your content a million times easier, because literally there's pages and pages of things that you can publish on your content just by looking at this, from bad advice that people get about your product or service or solution or the problem that they've got. The secondary problems that their pain and their frustrations are causing. What are the consequences if they do nothing? What's the consequences of them living with their pain? All of these make great content topics, both for blogs, posts, the works, messages. It will literally save you hours and hours of going, I don't know what to post. I can't, my mind's blank, because you'll have done the work at the front end. So you post content. Yeah, but content posting just by itself won't do anything. Yes, it will get you reach and views, and if you've connected with people, they will see it and engage it. Particularly on LinkedIn, content obviously has a massive part to play in the growth of your network, in the visibility of your profile. So content is critical, and it becomes more critical as you build your audience, as you build your crowd. So how do you build your crowd? Engagement. So engagement. So that is strategically engaging with your prospects on social media, not commenting and pitching in the comments, not connecting and pitching. Literally, if they're posting on social media, if they're involved in Facebook groups, if they're posting on LinkedIn, go engage with them. Go interact with what they're doing. Be part of their world. Be part of the conversations that they're having. Deliberately go find them and do it. Engage. But then what you will find is if you're starting to produce content, that will get a life of its own as well. People who are, if you're engaging with people who fit your ideal client profile, if you're producing content that fits for your ideal client profile, you will have a match. And they will see that you are relevant to them. And then because you've both been engaging with each other, guess what? They'll be more than happy to connect and build relationships with you. They'll be more than happy to accept your connection request. If you've engaged with them in a group on Facebook, they'll be more than happy to add you as a friend. Really, really simply. Done. Dead simple. Now, where people go wrong here is they go, right, I've got them as a connection. I've got them as a friend. Now it's time to make some money. And what do? They send them a sales pitch, and they completely ruin the whole thing. Keep engaging. Once they connect, keep engaging, keep interacting with them so that they'll keep interacting with you. And so what happens, and again, we're limited on time to go through this in detail, but the algorithms on social channels start to play to your favor. Because you're engaging with them a lot, they'll come and visit you, so they're more likely to engage with you. And so it builds up this tether between the two of you where they start to see you and you see them. So guess what? They're going to start to see that content you've been producing about their challenges, their frustrations, their outcomes that they want to achieve, all the stuff that's helped you in the ideal client profile. And so what happens? You can start to put your offer out there. In your posts, you can start to create mini sections of the offer, so you can share little tidbits of it and little bits of information, but you have a very clear offer that people can take up. Whether it be a discovery call, a strategy call, an initial consultation, a quote, a proposal, whatever you want to do, you design it so that's the route you go. And then because people have the pain that you're trying to solve, you're talking about the pain, so they're getting attracted to what you're saying. Because you're saying this is how I can help you, and you're making it clear, because you've built up relationships between strategic engagement, when they go, actually, I want to do this, I want to be engaged with you in this way, guess what happens? They convert through your way of doing things. They go down your process because you're the expert. You're showing them how to evade their pain or move past their pain, find the solution they want. They will go on your path. So it's important you set that path. Whether it be, and I'll tell you quite clearly, one of my paths is put lots of people on a webinar, get them to see what the value I can give, and some of those people will go, help me do this, help me do it quicker, help me get it implemented, hold me to account to implement it, and that's what I'm doing. So I'll give free value to everybody, and some people who know that they'll need some support and help and kind of a bit of a, not a stick, but, you know, keep it in line, or they have a tendency to overthink, they'll go down my path into our accelerator program. You need to do the same. That's all you have to do. Build that track that your customers can go on. Content, engagement, connection, and conversion. Just a quick testimonial. This is somebody who came on one of our programs when we did it in Birmingham, an event in Birmingham. Pre-lockdown, we did all of this in person. So we did it in rooms and hotels around the country. And they closed their first sale in 2 weeks from just following this process, just literally going and doing it. And it's the problem is, everything I'm telling you tonight is simple, and some people will go away and go, that's so simple, I know all that, but we'll still not do it. We'll still not do it. Then some people will go away from the session tonight, and this replay will stay up, so you can come back to the link and watch it again tomorrow or whenever. Some people will go away and go, that was so simple, I can do that. Because everybody can do this. Everybody can do this. The hardest bit is this. If you can do this, you can do the rest. The rest is just learning and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Dead simple. But some people will go away and overthink it. So they'll try and make it more complicated. They'll try and adapt it. And then they go, oh, it doesn't work. And then some people will go away and do it and then just email me later and go, thanks so much. And that's fine. And a percentage of you will go, actually, I'm in with this, Dean. Do it with me. I'm in. I want to join your accelerator. So if you just do this really simply, it will work. Hi, Ladima. Hi, Carla. An industrial B2B example. Okay, so I've done this, and I don't know whether any of them are watching. I've taught this to people who manufacture cardboard boxes. So I've taught people who literally make cardboard boxes to do this through social media, and it works. I've taught people who sell alarm systems, people who sell machines, financial services, independent financial advice, banking, press, PR. Who else is there? Recycling, metals, selling metals. Peter, I'm not sure what you mean there, but Ashkate, you do not need a company page on LinkedIn. This is social selling is you as a person building relationships and them having confidence in you to solve their problem, so they buy from you to your company. So it's not like, Dean said an invoices, it's a company. Yeah. So the ideal client profile. Sorry, Peter. Yes, ideal client profile is the hardest bit. Hi, Anglia Crafts and Cooking. So the ideal client, and again, you can have this. Yeah, you can have this. A member of our team, Kurt, put this together to really help clients focus on what they need to achieve and who they're talking to. So it makes their content, it makes everything that they're trying to do easier. So you can have this. And also the book, the free book, you can have the free book. I mean, literally we're giving, everything away. I'll put the link in the post there. Because some of you will go away and have a go and think, I've got stuck, and you'll come back. And that's our theory. That's our theory. So 99% or 98% of you will go away and have a go, and God bless you, go do it. And some of you will come back and go, just help me do this. Let's just do it. And that's the kind of way we work. So that's the principle that a lot of people get training for free, and that's great because it's part of our agenda as a business to help 1 million businesses grow. So simple. Two quick strategies. Now, I haven't got the slide in here for this, but I'm going to share it with you, but it's in this book. So there's two quick strategies I want to share with you. And they're on Page 24 of this book, page 24 and 25. Sorry, I didn't put the slide in by my error. But there's two strategies. The first one is the 7 steps. The 7 steps. So the 7 steps is pretty much, you can use it anywhere, but it's really good for LinkedIn. I mean, really, really good. Now, again, you can't bypass or your client profile, otherwise you won't know what to do and the messages and the key things you need to do. So the 7 steps on page 24 of our little book is this. Are you ready? You've got pen and paper ready? So if you want to build a relationship with an ideal client, so you have to have the form, build the form to know who it is. The first thing you're going to do, step 1, is like something that they're doing. Like their post, like their comment, anything that they're doing, like it. Step 2, like and comment. So go and find something else they don't like and put a meaningful comment on there, a meaningful comment. So not, hey, here's my sales pitch. Actually engage with them about whatever they've posted, commented, what have you. And when you've done that, make sure that the comment has a question or tries to continue that feed of conversation. Very, very simple. Once you've done that, then you can send them a connection or a friend request or follow, and they should accept you. Again, don't do this all in one day. It looks a bit scary, a bit stalkerish if you do it all in one day. And then if they accept, literally very low key, step 4, send them a thank you. I'll go through the steps again a bit slower. So step 4 is a thank you message for connecting, for friending, accepting the friend request with, and I mean this now because some of you are really naughty doing this, a very, very short intro. 1 sentence, maybe 2 short sentences, and that's it. Hi, Dean. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for accepting my friend requests. I help business owners accelerate their sales through social selling. Look forward to being connected. All the best, Dean. Really low key. I mean, really low key. Really low key. Again, your ideal client profile will help you devise that message. Step 5, like, another like. Step 6, like and comment. And step 7 is your pain message or your question or your lead magnet that puts them into your offer or your process. Or it could just be, I'd love to have a chat with you, but there's a lot too much to explain here tonight, but the 7 steps are there in the book. So go download the book. The second strategy here is the hook, incubate, and hatch, which is great for Facebook. Brilliant for Facebook, in fact. So the hook, incubate, and hatch, it's also pretty good for Twitter. So this one works really good on Facebook and Twitter. So the hook is that you use content or you engage with content in groups on a hashtag on Twitter to create conversation. So you interact with people deliberately or post something deliberately to find people with a specific problem or specific challenge. So you might go into a Facebook group for business owners, for an example, and ask them a specific question. Again, no promotion. You're just trying to ask questions. Do any of you, my people here, struggle with how to do social selling? That's what I do. And then people would say yes, no, blah, 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 blah. I would engage with everybody on that post for algorithmic benefits. And then I would connect or friend request the people who have engaged with it and say, hey, thanks for answering my question on the Facebook group or in the Twitter hashtag. I'd follow them. And would you be open to being my friend on Facebook? Really low key. And again, no pitch. And I would let them now start to see my content and engage with them to build that relationship and ultimately build that relationship so it's strong enough so that they start to see my content through the algorithm. And again, not a lot of time to talk about algorithms here, but if you're curious, you can go on our LinkedIn course. I think that's on our website, maverick.shop, or you can book onto our accelerator, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So hook, incubate, and hatch, go download that, and it will show you how to do that on Facebook. Again, this book's free, so you can go to our shop and buy it, but on the webinars, I give it away free. So if you want to go buy it on the website, fantastic. I'll have your $7.99. But if you want it free, just find the link in the chat and you can go and download it for free. So the 7 steps and hook, incubate, and hatch. So they're really, really simple strategies you can use, and they work brilliantly. But the key is understanding your offer and having that one strategy. One client, one problem, one message, one offer. Really, really focus. One strategy, one client, one problem, one message, one offer. And again, you can move to seasons, and that works really, really well. And again, Jackie here. Jackie actually sells aluminium products through LinkedIn. Aluminium products through LinkedIn. So just a quick promo from me I'm going to skip all this. So we run the accelerator. I'm going to go to Q&A in a second, so don't check out because I'll answer any questions whatsoever. But if in the next 13 weeks you want to join us on a mission which we call the 13 Weeks of Clients, I'd like to invite you to consider joining our Social Selling Accelerator. There is no obligation, but it's a live session every week for 13 weeks, but you can stay on after that for as long as you like. Digital replays, but it's focused on me and our team working with you to get you sales through social media. So there's coaching sessions, one-to-one coaching sessions, 4 live training sessions per month, and Ask Anything Q&A sessions every month. All digital replay and all lifetime access to all the training. So it starts, here's the thing, and the reason I'm pushing it is it starts on the 10th of September. So if you want to be a part, you need to book your place before 3 p.m. on Thursday, 3 p.m. UK. Please do put your questions in the chat, by the way. Put your questions in the chat because I'll go through questions and answers. And if you want to put your specific examples, so say, this is the business I run, I'll give you some examples of things you can be doing. But if you go, actually, let's just nail this. Let's absolutely do this together. Our job is to get you or to help you and to work with you to get you sales through the training, through literally you coming on calls and going, this is what I've done this week. What should I do next? This is how I've done it. How should we do it? And that's the goal. A bit like the example I told you earlier in lockdown with the 14 people. They averaged £20,000 worth of invoices per person in the 13 weeks, but their business pipeline their confirmed future orders that they were, as certain as they could be that they were going to get. And they told me this figure. They told me the figure, not me making it up or me estimating. They told me the figure. Their figure, and Mike's testimony was one of them, was £2.6 million worth of business as a result of this 13 weeks that we did. So that's what we're going to do. This is the Social Selling Accelerator if you want to be a part. Questions? So Shankar has said, how does it work with a small target group, say 10 different companies? It works exactly the same. The principles are the same. You have to really know your clients inside out. And one of the things that we do, and one of the reasons the ideal client form is so tough, and I'm being straight with you, it is tough because not only do you have to think about the pain, the primary pain, there's secondary pains. Yeah. So what are the other things that are frustrating with them? Career, I'll come back to you. So the secondary pains, there's symptoms, there's consequences, and all of these have to be mapped out so that you can really get into that space where your client goes, this person really knows and understands what we've got, the challenges we're facing. So it is quite a bit of work to get this form on point. And it's not work as in time, but quite a lot of different ways of thinking. So it's exactly the same principle. Shankar, if the price point, let's think about this. Let's say you were bidding for a £10,000 project or a £100,000 project. Would you spend a couple of hours digging deep, researching to better create a proposal for that £100,000 project. Of course you would. Of course you would. And the client profile, what we often do, I know we're guilty of this, and I've been guilty of it in the past, is I skip this stage because I want to sell. That addiction to picking up the phone and dialing. You remember I said about that earlier? Some salespeople would rather pick up the phone, dial 100 people and get 100 no's, and they would feel a sense of accomplishment from doing that than spending a couple of hours on that and eliminating half those calls that are a waste of time and actually getting some meaningful conversations. So, Shankar, it's exactly the same. Career inspiration. You mentioned incubation stage. You mentioned this phrase, share stories. Let me pull it up so I can show you. Incubate. Yeah, share stories. So, for an example, often what we do is we share stories more formal, like case studies. But what about sharing stories of people and tell the story of it? Tell the story of, for an example, I can tell you a story of somebody recently who is selling to a small group of people in one particular country. And he has to target them people in a particular way to achieve sales. And you could tell the story of a client without going into a formal case study, PDFs and all that kind of stuff. That's a really simple way to just tell the story. So I can tell you a story of a coach. I worked with a coach. This is a couple of years old now, but I use it in one of my training sessions, so you may see the story, so I can show you now. I worked with a coach who was struggling to get clients. Yeah, what they were getting is a lot of tire kickers, a lot of people asking to pick their brains, all the people who want free advice. And what was happening is she was getting resentful, she was getting frustrated, she was getting angry because people were not seeing the value. Yeah, she knew how good she was, but people weren't seeing it. So I tell the story in some of our training about how we just refined her messaging and her offer and the way she worked so that she eliminated the tire kickers, eliminated the time wasters, but also created an offer and a process that people went down that they either bought or they didn't. They either bought or they didn't. But we changed all of the messaging through the targeting and retargeting, focusing on the client so that they could make the message more powerful, more impactful, and eliminate price sensitivity. Because when people realize that you can solve their problem better, or you have a solution that will achieve their aim, the price sensitivity is less than perhaps competing to sell a website, or I can give you coaching to help you improve your life kind of thing. Isabel, let me ask here. Hashtags. Right, depending on where you're using them, this is really important. So Facebook's a little different because obviously it doesn't work in the same way, but hashtags are important on Facebook. On LinkedIn, you only need 3 hashtags, and Instagram's similar. Think about your hashtags because people make terrible mistakes with hashtags. If you use hashtags, your goal is to get more of your target customers to see your content. That's the purpose of hashtags. You put a hashtag on a post so that more people will see it. People who subscribe to that feed of that hashtag will see it. So don't use hashtags that relate to your industry. Use hashtags that relate to your customers. So for an example, if I'm doing social selling posts, the current wisdom would say, or the conventional wisdom would put at the bottom of the post, hashtag social selling. Why would I want to promote my social selling accelerator to people who are interested in social selling? Well, the people who follow this hashtag social selling are probably other people who sell social selling. What I really want to do is get my social selling accelerator post out in front of business owners. So guess which hashtag I should put on my post? Business owners. Hashtag business owners. Hashtag small business. Hashtag coaching. Hashtag manufacturing. Hashtag salesman. Hashtag salesperson. Anything that's related to my target customer not my industry, not my competitors. On LinkedIn, they only index 3 hashtags. So you see some people going, actually, I'm going to put like a gazillion hashtags on my post, like 500 or whatever. Well, on Instagram, you've seen that Instagram doesn't like you putting your 30 hashtags anymore. And some would say they don't even like the 10. But on LinkedIn, whether you put 10 or 500, LinkedIn only looks at the first 3. So you can put 500 hashtags on it, but it's still only the first 3. So make sure you choose ones that your customers are following, not the ones that your competitors are using and following. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's done. Phil, telematics. Okay, dash cams and everything. So fleet managers. So LinkedIn, Phil, is your space. LinkedIn is absolutely your space. But again, when I come back to this, the key thing for you, Phil, is to make sure that you are doing something so you stand away from everybody else saying, we do this, we do that. So think about the problems that you've got a few different problems that you can think about, Phil. And I'm giving you a cheat here. So if you find this valuable, go give us a review and tell us our free training is awesome. That'd be great. There's the people who are already using telematics. Yeah. So they've already got telematics. So what are the problems that they're facing with their existing system? Number one. That's the first problem. Then you've got the people who haven't got any form of telematics. What's the problem that your service, your provision will solve? That's audience number 2. Number 3, are the audience of people who may have abandoned telematics already. In other words, they give up on it. So there's the people using somebody else, the people who've never used somebody else, and the people who used to use somebody else. You can pick from them, Phil. My inclination, and this is something for you to decide, is to go after the people who've never used it. Go after the people who've never used it. That would be the best option for me. Ankit, email us if you want the copy of the form. If you want some help, if you want to be part of our accelerator where we help you do this, we're with you to get the results. Every time you start to overthink or worry about it or dither or put it off, we'll be there to say, come on, let's get this done. Join the accelerator. Join the accelerator, because that will get you results. Yeah, we have a meeting here every Friday, and I sit down with the team and say, right, how are we getting our clients results? Because that's all that matters. Our name, our reputation, our business is only about results for clients. If we don't do that, we've got nothing. So if you want accelerated results from this, if you want some support, if you want involved, come join us. Ashkay. So I'm going to say something a bit controversial here, Ashkay, and I'm going into a bit of detail. So if somebody on LinkedIn doesn't have a profile picture, 2 reasons. Number 1, their privacy is set to hide their profile picture. And some people are concerned about that. Some people only show their profile picture to first connections. So that's the first reason somebody might not have a profile picture. The second reason somebody might not have a profile picture is they just, they've had an old one and they thought, oh, get rid of it, or they've never put one up. So Ashkay, if there's other profile signals that tell you whether it's a valid profile, but let's assume it's a profile with no profile picture. I can tell you some other things to look for, to spot for, but time doesn't permit. But if they accept you, they're active. If they accept you, you're active. Now, you need to look for all the obvious signs of a fake profile, but just because they haven't got a profile picture doesn't necessarily mean they're a dormant, dud, or fake account. There are hallmark signals to look and spot for fake accounts or dud accounts. But don't be put off just because there's no profile picture, because not everybody is as active or as focused on LinkedIn as perhaps us. And some people just want to keep their profile pictures private. They don't want them, they feel uncomfortable about it. So that's, my 2 penneth on that. So if Any more questions? Any more questions? I would love to have you on our accelerator. It starts. Gerda, if you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to use your personal yourself, you're going to become not a salesperson, because you don't have to be. Some people think about salespeople in a particular way. I'm talking about being out there and people seeing the value you can offer and wanting to engage with you. So I'm talking more about doing things that bring people to you rather than go chasing down the world. Andrew's on board already. Andrew, we're looking forward to having you on Thursday. You can download the book, Peter, from the link I'm going to share with you now. If you seriously consider, go away, think about it. We're not into high pressure selling, but if you want to accelerate the results, go look on Trustpilot, go look on my LinkedIn, come and check my LinkedIn out, look at the reviews on my LinkedIn, go look at the pictures and go look at the people and see if they look real. Do all of that due diligence, because we want you to be confident that we're going to work together to get you results. But if you want to join us, come join us. It starts at 3 o'clock in the UK on Thursday. Now, there are evening Ask Questions and there are replays. So if you're in Canada and you want to watch it in the evening, or the US, you can watch it on replay, or join the Ask Anythings, which are Tuesday evenings in the evening, about 8:30. Sally, go do it. Right, Sally, you've got some stuff. Go do it. I mean, seriously, a lot of people take information away. I'm not. Go do it. So, but if you love this and you think I want more, come on the accelerator. But if there's no more questions, I'm going to sign off and go home because my voice is really hoarse now. But hopefully I'll see you on Thursday, 3 o'clock, for the Social Selling Accelerator. You can click the link there. We'll email you the link if you want to think about it. We'll also email you the link to download the book and the Ideal Client Profile as well tomorrow. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for coming. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. Hopefully see you on the accelerator. But Peter's asked something there. Peter, I'm not sure what you're asking there, but please, Peter, personal LinkedIn, hands down, personal LinkedIn, hands down, personal LinkedIn, personal Facebook, personal LinkedIn. And if you go, I'm confused by that, I'll see you on Thursday, 3 o'clock. Awesome, guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you on Thursday, all being well.